Right, you lot, are you sick of eating the same boring few meals every single week? Do you want to spark up your food game without having to spend hours in the kitchen? Well, we have the perfect thing for you because this video is sponsored by HelloFresh. Embark on a culinary adventure with HelloFresh where balanced meals meets the ease of home cooking. And it's not just that, because our smart calorie recipes are all under 650 calories, and veggie recipes bursting with flavors bring you the convenience without compromising taste. HelloFresh simplifies your journey to a balanced lifestyle with convenient meal solutions. Elevate your day-to-day meals with family-friendly recipes, delicious treats, and the satisfaction of home-cooked meals that are tailored to your goals. I used to dread meal planning and prepping and shopping, and I don't have to anymore because HelloFresh sorts all of that for me. The recipes are always easy to follow, the meals are always delicious, and the great thing about HelloFresh as well is they source all of the ingredients from growers straight to your door in eco-friendly packaging. And here's the best bit: because HelloFresh are committed to affordability and convenience, all you have to do to get an exclusive deal for watching this show is click the link in the description, or you can go to hellofresh.com and use the code FTD6025 to get 60% off your first order and 25% off the next 2 months. You also get free desserts for life. Just for life. That is unbelievable. Use the code FTD6025 to get 6% off your first order and 25% off the next 2 months. Thank you again to HelloFresh for sponsoring the show. Let's get cooking.
Jay here for Stretford Paddock. That's Joe Smith. This is Transfers Live. It is my favourite part of the season, Josie.
Yes.
We are right in it. It is transfer window season.
We're in that moment with the last week of the window where anything can happen. Any rumour can be real. Like early in the window, some of the things we've heard this week, Raheem Sterling might go to Man United, I would have just kicked that into the bin. Now, not only is it possible, it's quite likely. Ivan Toney is another one. Who'd have thought 3 weeks ago when we just signed Joshua Zirkzee that another striker could be on the menu? And you know what? It could be. This is what goes on in the last few days of the transfer window, especially when you're a Man United fan. Anything is possible, Jay. Anything.
Anything. Who is it that sang that? Is it Ellie Goulding?
Yes.
Anything can happen. Yeah, and it can. We've got loads of stories to get through, and
tons.
We're getting updates as we speak. Fabrizio Romano's just tweeted. I'm going to get into that in a minute.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about Jadon Sancho. We're going to talk about Raheem Sterling. We're going to be talking about Ivan Toney. I'm going to give you a little, brief update on some of the other movers and shakers, some of the outgoings as well. Scott McTominay, one or two others. So make sure you are getting involved in the chat and the comments. Hit that like button as well, please, people. There's over 1,100 people watching, and we haven't even got to 100 likes. As Liz Truss said, that is a disgrace. Right, what do you want to start with? Should we start with Sancho? Yeah,
because earlier today we did a little video talking about Jadon Sancho where we said a relatively reliable journalist from RMC Sport, which is considered to, they've got sources, they're a good, reliable outlet, not sort of David Ornstein levels of like, if he says it, it's happening, but the notch below that, right on that precipice of you can trust these guys. They said that a deal had been agreed between Jadon Sancho, or more specifically in this case, Manchester United and Juventus, for Jadon Sancho, and that was supposedly that a loan deal with an obligation to buy had been struck. So here's the initial one: Jadon Sancho. Ciao is goodbye in Italian. Going to Italy. This is fantastic.
It is.
This is brilliant. This is a very, very good pun, Ethan.
This might be up there with some of your best work.
Yeah.
I will always have a special place in my heart for corn on the cob, butter him up.
Yeah.
But that was a completely irrelevant pun.
Yes.
This is perfect.
The only way this could be any better is if he was going to either AC or Inter and they play at the San Siro. It's Juventus and they don't, but it doesn't matter. Jadon Sancho, brilliant pun. Yeah. Well done, Ethan. Let's get into this. So this was the sort of initial report that we saw earlier today from, like I said, a relatively reliable source. Juventus is set to sign Jadon Sancho on loan, beating Chelsea in the race for his signature. Chelsea and Manchester United have been in talks over two separate deals for Jadon Sancho and Raheem Sterling. Sky Sports reported earlier today that the possibility of Sancho signing for Chelsea and Sterling joining United is now being seriously considered. However, as we said this afternoon, RMC Sport journalist Fabrice Hawkins posted on X, breaking agreement between Manchester United and Juventus for Jadon Sancho, loan plus obligation to buy, the player keen to do the move. The interesting thing here is that the deal is between Manchester United and Juventus. So then, I don't know what we've got next up here, because something has broken very recently with Fabrizio Romano. But the next thing that we have after this, which is the next update, I believe, is from The Guardian. Is that right? Do we have that? So that was then followed up by this from The Guardian, if we can bring up... sorry, we don't have a graphic, but we've got it here because it's all happening too fast. It says here from The Guardian that Sancho is holding out for an offer from Chelsea. If we can scroll up a little bit, sorry. He prefers them over Juventus. The situation is open and Juve have not given up. So crucially here, there was potentially an agreement between United and Juventus. Sancho himself now supposedly would prefer a move to Chelsea. That's Jacob Steinberg, I believe, in The Guardian, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. He's the opposite of David Ornstein in terms of reliability, Jacob Steinberg. He was the one that said Erik ten Hag was going to get sacked next week.
So there's that to bear in mind as well, of course. But then there's another thing that's come out in the last few minutes from Fabrizio Romano. Have you got that in front of you yet?
Yeah,
because
sorry,
that's literally
bro.
just happened. So basically, I'll get into that quickly and then you can give me the exact details. Fabrizio Romano has since tweeted about Jadon Sancho and that deal between United and Juventus that no loan with obligation to buy has been agreed, only a loan with an option to buy. Have you got the actual tweet there?
Yeah, so Romano tweeted 12 minutes ago, Juve and Chelsea remain both in talks for Jadon Sancho. Juventus have improved their proposal today for loan with buy option. United insist on obligation and salary coverage. Also, key point. Chelsea remain in active talks, but still want swap with Raheem Sterling. Swap, he's put again. He knows his stuff, Romano, anyway. He especially knows his stuff with Italy.
I mean, people like to diss Romano. I know he's got a few things wrong, and there's been a handful of here we goes that haven't been right over the last sort of 4 or 5 years. But generally speaking, he doesn't get many things wrong. And this is very different to what we've seen earlier. One is there's been an agreement and it's a loan with an obligation to buy. And Romano now saying that there's no agreement and the only major discussions that have happened so far are a loan with an option to buy. Obviously, we all know the difference, but just to double clarify for the sake of anyone watching who isn't quite sure, an obligation to buy would mean that at the end of that loan deal, Juventus have to buy Sancho or have to put the money forward to buy Sancho. An option to buy would mean you come up with a fee and then Juventus can choose whether to buy him or not at the end of the deal. So they're two very different things, especially as far as United sort of banking and accounting are concerned. Guaranteeing the money with an obligation is very different to Juve having all the power with an option. Where do we stand, Jay? What is going on? There's all sorts going on. Chelsea still think they're involved. Sancho might fancy Chelsea. Juve and United haven't agreed this deal, or have they? What do you think is going on here? Why are we seeing so many different conflicting reports?
Well, it seems that both Chelsea and Juventus want Jadon Sancho. The big question for Manchester United is, how much do we want Raheem Sterling?
Yeah.
If we're not that bothered about Raheem Sterling, then you can imagine United trying to push through the Juve move and just say, look, we just want our money back or some money back for Jadon Sancho, get his wages off our books. We're not, just get that deal done. However, if Erik ten Hag and Dan Ashworth and Jason Wilcox and whoever else look at it and go, look, do you know what? Raheem Sterling can offer this squad something.
Yeah.
We want him. Then Chelsea have the upper hand. At the minute, it just seems to be like 50-50 as to which way it's going to go. There's no one sort of heavily indicating one way or the other that it's going to go a certain way. And also you've got both reliable and less reliable journalists all saying similar things, to be fair, that Chelsea are interested in him, the Sterling interest there, or the Sterling idea is real, and also Juve are trying to make this move happen. I think personally he'd be better off going Juve.
For him or for United?
For him. I think for him, I think Serie A will suit him better. I don't even know whether him going to Chelsea, the way Chelsea is, and the way he's been in the Premier League since he came into it, I don't even know if that move would suit him.
Does he even play?
That's what I mean. It's just, it's a mess there, and he might struggle. I think if he goes to Italy, I think he'll shine in Italy. I think he's at one of the biggest clubs in the world, and I think he'll do really well. A few super chats and a few comments I'll get into before I come back to you. Fiesco Santa Clara says, good evening, lads. Is the Ivan Toney transfer imminent, or is it a long haul away?
That's what I said.
Is this a reference to you and your filth?
It wasn't. It was an accident.
Your filthy mind
People keep
and
bringing
mouth.
it up.
What did you say about national treasure Tina Hobley?
So Tina Hobley played a character in Holby City. Adam McCullough made a joke about Holby City. and I couldn't remember who Tina Hobley was. I didn't really know who it was. So I got
she's in Corrie as well, wasn't she?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And I read her Wikipedia, and I was meant to say she is known for a long-running role in Holby City. I accidentally said she's known for a long-running hole, which doesn't take a, you've immediately seen the error there and why that could be.
I will not have Tina Hobley's hole bandied around this studio willy-nilly.
Sorry about that.
Joshua
Check it out in
Bowater.
Uncensored, it makes more sense there.
Yeah. Joshua Bowater says, does Sancho not see what the Chelsea manager is saying about his players? A million times worse than Erik ten Hag said about him when he saw his ass. Yeah, Maresca's not exactly... he's not being kind, is he?
He's not pulling his punches, is he, when it comes to some of his players?
A few comments in the chat. David Madden says, like the show, guys. Witterbird says the pace of Italy would suit Sancho. Ross Murphy says Newcastle's still in the EFL Cup. Any update there?
They just won on penalties.
Oh!
What was the score on pens?
Absolutely buzzing with that.
4-3 on pens.
4-3.
Yeah, we'll have the Carabao Cup third round draw in about 8 minutes as well, so stick around. We'll go through all that here live. Who United get in that? United's first round of the Cup, but the third round of the Carabao Cup draw will be live here, so don't need to go anywhere for that. Don't worry about what channel's that on. Don't need to get 2 screens. Stick around, we'll talk you through it.
Danny Sunder says, can you give me a shout out, please? No, not a chance. We're not doing that.
Forget about it.
Demo Guru says, I'd rather Ten Hag go than Sancho, bro.
That is crazy. That's crazy.
Joe, are you forgetting that under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer,
Carrick was his best manager.
Jadon Sancho absolutely cooks, bro. Or under Ralph Rangnick, he was an absolute baller, bro. Or was he just not very good for any United manager who's played under, other than Michael Carrick for those 2 games?
Yeah.
I
mean, maybe that's just a testament to how little he likes Erik ten Hag. But if it's like a Sancho's got to stay argument, I don't get that whatsoever.
Casey, welcome to the Academy. Thank you to everyone who supported us by joining our membership section. Extra content on the membership section, including me giving the boy here a lesson in fantasy football.
Yeah, that's coming out tomorrow. So the updated fantasy league. It's going. Let's just say it's going pretty well.
Well, it depends on what your definition of going well is. Some of us like to play football the right way.
Yeah, you like to be looking up at the league table, don't you?
Like surveying the landscape.
Absolutely. Should we move on to our next story?
Yeah, why not?
Because it sort of links to this one very closely, and this is Raheem Sterling. Ethan, what have we got?
Rah, that'll cost bare Sterling.
Why didn't you let me read it? That's not bad, that, is it?
Go on, you read it.
Raw. Let me try that again, sorry. Okay. Raw. Why do I sound like I'm doing a very bad sort of dinosaur impression when I do it?
You sound like Tarquin entertaining the children.
Raw. That'll cost... Sorry. Yep.
Say it all in one go.
I'm going to get all the way...
Yeah.
Start to finish.
Are you okay?
Yep.
You can't even... Right, go on.
Panicking.
Go on.
Raw. That'll cost bare Sterling.
Beautiful.
Won't it?
Absolutely. Nailed it.
And it will.
Absolutely nailed it.
Right, let's get into this. Right, that'll cost bare Sterling. Talks over Jadon Sancho and Raheem Sterling are reportedly 2 separate deals. That could be crucial in all this. I want your thoughts on that in a second. A swap deal has been discussed. The Telegraph reported yesterday United have opened talks over a deal for Raheem Sterling, but will only progress in a swap for Jadon Sancho on their own terms. Dan Ashworth was in dialogue with Chelsea earlier on Tuesday over a sensational package that would set the 2 England forwards move in opposite directions, that would see them, should I say. Jadon Sancho's move to Juventus could impact a potential deal. You think? What, if Jadon Sancho goes to Juve, he couldn't go to Chelsea? Yeah, I reckon that could impact that deal, yeah. Good point. Although BBC Sports' Simon Stone reported, United sources stressed that any deal would be on their terms. I mean, if Sancho's not involved in the swap deal, that probably does impact it. I guess what they're trying to say is United could still sign Sterling even if Sancho goes to Juventus.
Yeah.
Jay, quick question for you. When's the last time you were in talks over a sensational package?
Do you know what? There's a severe lack of dialogue in our gaff over my sensational package. I ain't going to lie to you, kid.
It's all one-way traffic,
do you know what I mean?
You're giving it that.
I'm giving it all the big dialogue about my sensational package.
No, boy.
And she's asleep. Like, genuinely. That's what's been missing in my life.
Yes, unbelievable.
Ethan, we've got a request. Are you all right? Yeah. Are you able to come over here? Come on. Everyone's impressed with your puns tonight, Ethan.
That'll cost Bear Sterling is very good.
Yeah, come here. You're all right. You're not in trouble. You're never in trouble.
You're never in trouble.
Honestly.
I mean, sometimes you are, but
not with me. You're not. Some people want to hear you say this
in your Geordie accent.
Do you need to read it, or do you know it because you wrote it? So go on.
In my impression of that accent.
However you want to do it.
No, do it in your own accent.
Let's err on the side of caution here.
In my own accent, it would be, that'll cost Bear Sterling. In that one, it would be, that'll cost Bear Sterling, maybe.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's really good, actually.
I love you, honestly, kid.
Really good puns tonight.
Yeah.
Really nice puns.
Yeah, so anyone who asked for Ethan, there was a couple of you asked for Ethan to read it. There you go.
In terms of sort of Sterling and etc., is it allowed to sign both Euro and Sterling in one window, or is there some sort of Brexit regulations where can we sign two different currencies in one window?
You can,
yes,
but you have to queue for ages at the airport.
I was going to say, because you can't be doing this, because the Sterling to Euro thing is a lot harder now, isn't it?
You have to just queue for literally 3 weeks at the airport. It's just a complete nightmare.
And the idea of signing Danny Drachma is just off the table, isn't
nicely
it?
done, my
friend.
That
can't happen. Raheem Sterling, we spoke a bit about him before. Let's say that Jadon Sancho goes to Juventus. Would you still be interested in signing Raheem Sterling? Or do you think United will still be? Do you think it's just a sort of, marriage of convenience, that we need to get rid of Sancho, Chelsea are interested, and Sterling probably is maybe our third best winger if we got him? Easy, good player.
If we get rid of Sancho to Juve, I wouldn't bother.
Yeah.
Personally.
Do you think they will? From what you're reading?
No.
No?
I don't think so. I feel this is purely about Sancho going. I don't think there was any sort of desire or enthusiasm to bring Raheem Sterling to Old Trafford a week ago. I think this has been sort of pushed forward because Chelsea have said, well, look, we can maybe get a deal centering around Raheem Sterling comes to Old Trafford. Yeah. Now, I'm not ITK, I might be wrong. I don't see it happening. But who knows? Well, let me know what you think, people.
What people in the comments saying?
People are saying, Sean McGrinder says, no to Sterling, please. Cowboy says, we ain't a charity. Who cares if Sterling can't get in a team? T2, the Izzo, says, Ethan rocking the World War II RAF fighter pilot look. Someone else said that.
He is actually. It's the moustache, isn't it? Yeah, the moustache works. It's a few different things, but yeah, World War II fighter pilot is definitely one of them, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Someone said Masters of the Air. You look like you're from Masters of the Air.
Yeah. Little bit of advanced DBS about it as well.
What?
Don't mind, carry on.
Wow. That is all I can say to that. I'm actually stunned. Elvis says, no, 100% no. Why Sterling? Never. Honestly.
Sorry.
It's like being on a show with Howson. Why Sterling?
I said it in the least sort of get-up.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, in that case. It was lovely.
Cheeky at best.
It was almost endearing.
It was cheeky.
The comment you made about him being a predator.
No, I didn't say that.
Why Sterling? Never in a million of years. Ex-Manchester City and Liverpool player, and clearly on his way down of his career, we did Alexis Sanchez and Mkhitaryan. No. Can I just say one thing on ex-Liverpool and Manchester City? Yeah? 3 words. Matt Busby. Yeah?
But this was 1945.
Oh, sorry, I'm Joan. I don't care about United's history. Oh, why don't we just not count the titles that we won in the 40s and 50s then and 60s? If the history doesn't, the past doesn't matter to you. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, nice one.
The landscape of football rivalry was a very different beast around that time. People would regularly play for rivals more often, would manage rivals, come to different teams. It was much more of a done thing than these days.
Nonsense. People came back from the war, right, and were up for a scrap.
Yeah,
right.
Like you've never seen.
Yeah, so the fights were actually gunfights back in the day between
Muskets.
Liverpool and United and that. Yeah, and that was just like friendlies. That was the under-12s. Like, seriously,
and that
it
was
went
the players with the guns.
But Busby was that great, everyone loved him. So he broke the mould.
Sorry, I didn't
realise.
realise.
There you go, yeah, I remember it well.
Yeah.
Do you care that he played for City and Liverpool? Seriously?
My honest opinion on Sterling, in terms of that, is he's... Obviously, when I think of him, I've got he played for Liverpool, he played for City. But he was never truly a talisman for either. I feel like he was a big player for City, but they had Aguero, they had De Bruyne, they had Fernandinho, they had Company, who were like the faces of that team. And Sterling was like 5th name on the sort of, who do you think of when you think of Mr. Man City? When you go to that Liverpool team that he was in, I think, was he there when Suarez was there and Gerrard and obviously Carragher? He was there like, there was other bigger Liverpool people than him, even though he came through the academy. Obviously, the rivalry bothers me, and I wouldn't have picked him if I could have had any winger at Man United. But I don't necessarily see him as like the face of either of those two rivals. Like Michael Owen was a weirder one for me because he was the face of Liverpool when I was first watching football. He was Liverpool FC. I know there was 10 years in the meantime that kind of softened it. But like Sterling to me isn't the face of Liverpool or the face of that Man City team. He was just a big player for both. So it is weird, and it would be like a bizarre feeling seeing him in a United kit. But it's not quite as mad as like, let's say United were going to sign Salah. That would feel crazy to me. Do you know what I mean? Do you agree or do you not see it?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, and I think everything you said kind of puts me off him a bit in the sense that he wasn't Mr. Liverpool. He's only a kid when he's at Liverpool, to be fair. I think he left there when he was about 19, 20. But he wasn't like the main player at City. He wasn't one of their superstars. He wasn't the guy that was their talisman. He was a good player in a very good team.
Yeah.
And I feel like a good player in a very good team who's maybe in decline now.
Yeah.
United probably needs to be a bit more forward thinking than that. So whilst I will get behind him if he arrives, I'm not keen on it.
Yeah, I get that. I completely get it.
I'm trying to sort of almost convince myself or get convinced into it or get talked into it because it could happen. But really, like 2 weeks ago, no one was thinking about this, and rightly so.
Well, I said to you, was it Monday morning?
It might have been.
Before the links had started, when we were talking, when Sterling was first sort of banished from that Chelsea squad, and we were talking about the social post he put out, and I said, like, just kind of jokingly, what about him to United? And that time you were like, I don't see it and I don't want it. And obviously, like you said, if he came to United, you're not going to be booing him.
No, you have to get behind the kid.
Yeah, but this has never been a transfer you've been keen on, is it? So I get that. I completely get it. He came through at Liverpool, played for City, and then obviously Chelsea's a rival as well. It is a tough sell, and I don't love it, but I can kind of see why it might make a little bit of sense personally.
Neil Shaw says he can't finish his dinner. Pastor Fred says get 40 million hard cashola for Sancho and chuck it on Toney. Why not? He sounds like you. That's the kind of thing. Hard cashola.
Hard cashola.
Chuck it on Toney.
Well, can we talk about Toney then?
Yeah, why not?
This is Ivan Toney up next. What we got here? A gamble that could sting. Do you get it? Gamble, because he's obviously crippled by addiction, and that's funny, isn't it, Ethan? Firstly.
Yeah.
Secondly, unbelievable. Secondly, sting could have double meaning here. One, obviously, Brentford, bees. Two, he was caught in a sting, wasn't he?
Yeah.
The people kind of knew he was gambling. They got him in a sting. So, I mean, obviously, Jay, what do you make of Ethan sort of ruthlessly, publicly and openly mocking an addict?
Well, as someone who's, been addicted to cocaine for the last 20 years, I can sympathise with Ivan Toney. I know what it's like to battle your demons, to think you're never going to get there, but thankfully, with support, I got there. But I didn't have people mocking me on a channel with over 3,000 people watching simultaneously. And I don't know if I would have got through my addiction if I did. So I, for one, I'm disgusted, outraged and disappointed. Anyway.
On the other hand.
Good pun. Not a bad pun.
It's not bad.
Not your best work this evening, but you've been on a good one. I'd give this a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, it's not
Ivan Toney.
Yeah. Should we read through this and then we'll get into it?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. United have held initial talks over a late deal for Ivan Toney, but a move to Chelsea remains the forward's priority. Chelsea are considering making an offer as Enzo Maresca looks to add a new striker to the club's glut of summer signings, while Saudi Arabian outfit Al Ahly... What are you laughing at?
What? Are they gangsters? The Saudi Arabian outfit are going to come for you, sunshine.
Outfit is such a bizarre word, isn't it?
Like Saudi Arabian outfit, all right.
Saudi Arabian outfit Al Ahly have had an initial bid rejected. There have also been preliminary conversations between Manchester United and Brentford over a potential deal. Negotiations are not yet at a serious stage, and United are yet to make a formal offer, but Brentford are hopeful that any interest could drive a bidding war with Chelsea that would see them secure around £40 million cashola for Toney. Thoughts? I mean, the link is it's a little bit loose, but do you think this is possible? Do you see United doing this?
Get involved in the chat in the comments, let me know what you think. Ivan Toney is one of those players, I think people get excited about if he joined us.
Yeah.
If we sign Ivan Toney, I think everyone will be like, right, Ivan Toney, he's an absolute baller. Yeah. But do we need him? Is he going to get into the team? Do we need another striker now we've got Joshua Zirkzee? Mm-hmm. Is this a bit overkill? I don't know. I'm one of those where there's two things. One, I don't think it'll happen anyway.
Yeah.
There was a few weeks ago, do you remember I said outside Old Trafford, I'm not signing TK. It was the only one of the few times where I said, look, I've had a few messages there of people that I respect saying, keep your eye on what happens with Ivan Toney. Don't count him out of a move to United. That is what I've been told of, as I said at the time, people I respected. So I said that, and then about a week later, it looked like they were dead in the water. So I was like, well, that's the first and last time I do that. Now it's like, well, there could still be something there. I don't think it will happen. I think he's more likely to go to Chelsea or maybe another club. I don't know if someone else like left field, like West Ham or whatever. Just goes, we can actually make this deal work. Than he is to come to United. And also, again, you go back to what are Ineos doing? What's the ethos? Are they going to start now buying a player who's 28, who's missed 6 months of the last year through gambling issues, and has gone, 12 Premier League games or 14 Premier League games without a goal or whatever it was? So I like Tony, I think he's a good player. I just don't know if he fits in with what Ineos are trying to do. Yeah. And listen, I was saying, remember when he got his ban and I said we should buy him now while he's banned? Which sounded insane, and it probably was a bit. But my point was, as soon as his ban ends, he'd get him in the team, get him as an option.
We could have done with him in January last year, couldn't we?
100%. Yeah. And if you go and offer money to a club like Brentford, who are a selling club, for a player that's currently banned, they'll probably go, yeah, all right. Yeah. And you can get him for a bit of a cut price. However, that didn't happen. It's probably a good job it didn't. But yeah, I think it's one of those moves. If he comes, great. If he doesn't, I'll be fine. I don't think he will. Let me know what you think, people.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one, Tony.
I didn't even reciprocate.
No, it's all right. Well, just wait, looking through the comments there.
No, I didn't even
ask your opinion. He's a weird player because I know he's had that one season where he scored 20 Premier League goals, but he's not like a guaranteed banger in the Premier League. I know the thing with him is he's a good all-round player, so he's not just goal scoring. He's decent at bringing other people in. But I don't know. I always think there are plenty of players in Premier League history who have been proven to be better Premier League goal scorers than him, that people don't rate anywhere near as highly. Like, what is it? We go through his Premier League numbers, Jack.
Right, well, this is the thing. He's 28, so he's 29, and he's scored 36 Premier League goals.
Yeah.
So when you think of it, most 28-year-old strikers in the Premier League have scored a lot more than 36 Premier League goals, but he didn't get in the Premier League till 2021.
He was playing in League One till COVID.
He's had a very sort of, gradual, quite, speedy, sort of trajectory, but it has been through several leagues.
Yeah.
So he scored 12 in his first season. We just keeps the Premier League numbers. 12 in his first season in the Premier League in 33 games. Very good return for a club that was kicking around the bottom end of the table.
Yeah.
His second season was his magnus opus or his annus mirabilis.
I don't want to talk about his anus, but anyway.
Well, I'll talk about anyone's anus. I mean his anus, sorry. He was 20 and 33, fantastic numbers, especially for a mid-table team, and especially when you look at...
It's very good for anyone. That's...
Okay. Sorry.
Chuck the slate over. We can come back.
Drop her.
Okay, we're back.
Sorry if you lost us there for a minute. I think we're back.
Yes. So just on Tony then, 20 Premier League goals which he got in that season is excellent. But if you want to look at it a different way, in the last 12 months, he scored 4 goals. Like, that isn't necessarily the greatest of sort of job interviews, is it, if you're looking to sign a player like Ivan Toney? He's only played in the Premier League 3 years, and in the last of those 3 years, he scored 4 goals. Admittedly, he was banned for some of it, but to talk about form and like sharpness, that's not like, he's not banging him in, is he?
Do these players, does buying a 30-year-old or 29-year-old Raheem Sterling or a 28-year-old Ivan Toney, does it help Manchester United? Enough, do you feel? Because everyone else, Zirkzee, Højlund last season, Lenny Yoro, even Manuel Ugarte, even De Ligt. You're looking at this as being a sort of 3 or 4 year project here where over the next few years United get stronger and stronger and then we're challenging for titles.
Yeah.
Hopefully next season we start challenging, hopefully the season after that we win it. Well, hopefully we win it sooner, but that seems to be a reasonable expectation. Does Ivan Toney help you with that, or is this just short term?
I think the good thing about either Sterling or Toney as a transfer, because for different reasons. One, because Toney's never been a sort of Ronaldo, Cavani, Zlatan kind of figure. He's an up-and-coming player who the best he's ever been is a Brentford striker, which is very good, obviously, but he's not a world star.
Not according to him, it isn't when he's on holiday.
Of course. And Sterling, who has been a bigger name, has played for a top team, has won trophies, is widely accepted to be sort of on the way down. And I think the expectation for both of these players wouldn't be, if we don't win a league in the next 2 years, I'm fuming. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Sterling wouldn't even mind necessarily being a bit of a backup at times or a rotation piece with Garnacho on that side. Toney, whilst he'd probably want to start every week, if we didn't win the league before he retired, I don't think the ownership are being called disgraces. No. I don't think he's doing interviews with Piers Morgan. I don't think he's kicking his, throwing his toys at the pram like Cavani did. I think you could feasibly have these players as part of a rebuild, and if they're still there when we start winning stuff, great. And if not, I think there's a little element of it being risk-free, in all honesty. I genuinely do. I think if this was a different player, if this was Messi or someone like that, where if they don't win something big, then it was a waste of a transfer, I would agree with you. But I kind of think, no offence to Ivan Toney, but if he doesn't win a Premier League in his career, no one's going to go ballistic at Ineos or at United or in the papers, because people probably don't think he will anyway. And no one thinks Sterling's going to win another one. So I think you could have these guys as maybe a stopgap. And if they are here when we win a league, great. And if not, I don't think it's that bad, honestly. Yeah,
I was talking on the video we did before, on the live we did before, about the sort of Moneyball Island of Misfits Toys idea, that we're sort of getting all these players. And if you ever watched the film Moneyball, they get players who've been superstars. Is it David Justice or whatever, like the big name stars, the ones who sort of went under the radar and the ones who are in decline somewhat but still have something to offer in a certain role. And I kind of like this idea of getting players who have something to offer, who maybe have had that spell that didn't work out or whatever, or maybe a player like Tony who's been through something but is still a very good footballer. Sterling, who's won a lot and then had a bad move but still can do something. De Ligt, who's something similar. Lenny Yoro, the up-and-coming sort of star, getting him quickly. All that sort of stuff. I get it, but I do feel like there's a limit to that as well. Where you need a little sort of to sort of draw a line on the amount of players you have with a question mark over them.
Yeah.
That's my only sort of slight worry with the likes of Sterling and Toney. It's like, is it a bit overkill here? Do you need to go, okay, look, we don't need every single signing we make to have a bit of a question mark. Whereas I think with Sterling and Toney there is.
I think for me, it comes down to the fee for both of them. If you could get Toney for 40 million quid or less, if there's a 3 at the start of the transfer, obviously that's a load of money, but in football terms, that's basically nothing. If you can get Raheem Sterling and there isn't a 3 at the start of his wages, then I think that works. Do you know what I mean? If he's on 200 grand a week, it's loads of money, but it's not like PL top earner Sterling goes 4 games without goal. Do you know what I mean? Whereas when it's Sancho or Casemiro or Varane in the past or Rashford now, these wages and stuff become ridiculous. If you could get Sterling for 20 million quid and he's on 220 grand a week, I think that's all right. If you can get Ivan Toney for 35 million plus 10 in add-ons, that again, the expectation there is so low that I think the chances of it working go massively up because the numbers involved, and that's where we kind of have to trust Ineos a little bit. All the other transfers have made complete sense to me. Sterling doesn't really make sense. Ivan Toney doesn't really make sense. But I'm willing to trust Ineos and trust that maybe to them they see something in a slightly different way to the way I see it, and it could work because I can see what they bring, but they just feel slightly out of field, sort of left field compared to some of the others we've seen.
There's reports here. I'm trying to find out, get this through. Can we have a look at the Carabao Cup Draw? Because it was meant to take place 15 minutes ago, and it hasn't started. Now, there's some people on social saying it's been delayed till tomorrow, but I don't know. I can't get that stood up. I've just seen a few people tweeting it, but I don't know if...
You'd assume Sky would mention that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, can we...
Since they're the ones who are broadcasting it. So maybe check Sky's Twitter.
Because it is delayed. It's not... I think it should have been happening at least...
about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, so I don't know what is going on there. But a few people saying it's been delayed or it's been postponed, sorry. I don't know if that's true or not, though. I've yet to see anyone with a a journalist or a TV company or whatever saying that on a TV channel. Yeah, interesting. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's all gearing towards an exciting deadline day, Joseph.
Yeah.
We're going to be here, by the way, on deadline day. Myself and the boy Wonder are going to be here. We're going to be carrying right through to the deadline. So what time is deadline? Is it 11 o'clock?
11 p.m. on Friday night, so we'll be here for that.
Yeah, so we'll have the usual stuff in the day. We'll have the news, we'll have the brew, we'll have all that stuff, and then we'll have a couple of different live shows going on throughout the day. Yeah. And then me and Joe for the last hour or whatever, we'll just go through it. Because obviously as well, it's not just about United on that. You want to see what some of the other clubs in and around
and
United
ranking
do.
Everyone's windows as well. Yeah, so who's done well.
We'll do a little bit of a bumper live.
So
the point there, all I was going to say is make sure you are subscribing to the channel. Let's get to 800,000 subscribers. We can do it with your support. We can get there. We've had a lot of subscribers lately. I do appreciate that. But yeah, do subscribe because we're going to be doing a lot of lives over the next few days and beyond.
Yeah, let's move on to our next story. Scott McTominay, go on.
Someone else is saying that they're about to do the draw. But then other people are saying, I don't know. It's all very confusing. We'll keep an eye on the Carabao Cup Draw. If that happens, or when it happens, we'll give you the updates with that. Obviously, Manchester United in the draw for that one. Go on, my brother.
Scott to put pen to paper. That's good.
Have you been using ChatGPT for these tonight? What?
Have you?
Eh? Oh no! Because these are excellent.
Are very good.
I shouldn't have said that because obviously you're capable of it. But there's been a couple of chef's kisses tonight.
Well, speaking of chefs, it's the Italian ones that have done very well, isn't it? Sancho, pen to paper.
Yeah.
Maybe that's Ethan's thing. Maybe you should move to Italy.
Or maybe we should change the channel to one that covers Napoli.
That'd be good. Who would be your team if you had to support a team in Italy?
Napoli.
Is that the only one you know?
Napoli.
Scott McTominay will arrive in Italy tomorrow ahead of his transfer to
Napoli.
The two clubs are still in the process of sorting out paperwork, so the 27-year-old will fly directly to Naples to complete and speed up the entire process there. Napoli will pay €30 million for the Scotland international, with United retaining a sell-on fee. The McTominay news comes as Paris Saint-Germain midfielder Manuel Ugarte is travelling to complete his medical ahead of his move to Manchester United for €50 million, £42.3 million, plus a further €10 million in add-ons. McTominay to Napoli, obviously we sort of knew this was happening. Just to get the ball rolling a little bit, he's going to be flying out to Naples. Do you think he's ever been to Naples before? Have we ever played him? I don't think we've ever played him in our history. I think that's one of those weird stats. Maybe it might be worth a Google, Ethan. I don't think Manchester United and Napoli have ever played against each other. Because I went to Napoli a few months ago, or last year, and I remember Googling, is it fixtures, and I don't think it's ever happened. Ethan will let us know in just a minute, but I'm pretty sure it hasn't.
Are you sure?
No, of course not. But if they have, have they played? Okay, when was this? 2021, what was that? Was that a friendly or something?
So, what?
I think that doesn't seem right, does it? There you go on that one, top one, head to head.
Go on.
No, the second one, sorry.
Let's have a look.
0 games. United, as far as I could make out when I went.
Are you sure?
Well, do you remember it?
Didn't we play them in the FA Cup last season? Sure we beat them 4-3 at Old Trafford.
It was Coventry.
Oh, sorry, Wembley, it was Coventry. Sorry,
yeah,
I was getting confused.
The Carabao Cup Draw has begun, so we'll be bringing you live updates of that. But yeah, United have never played Napoli in our history. That's mad, isn't it?
Well, watch this draw. You never know.
No, Jay, you're not quite... Napoli is in Italy.
Ah, right, so you have to watch the Italian Sky Sports for the draw. I'm with you.
You're not getting it. You're not getting it.
Yeah, we'll give you the draw update as and when it comes.
Yes.
You never know, we might have an exciting side. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Because I think, is it like the ones that are in Europe are going to get drawn against other teams or some
So do you have that graphic there? Because people, I saw you seeing that before, so do you want to take us through
So it's like, I think apparently there's a pre-draw.
Which has already taken place.
Yeah, so a team in Europe will play a round 2 winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have...
I've got it.
So, what number are we? Oh, City, the first one's out. That's a bit... City are going to play...
Wait a sec.
Wait a minute. Who's quickest here?
City have got Watford at home.
City have got Watford and Liverpool have got West Ham. Right, so...
Liverpool play West Ham. That's a decent draw, that. I mean, obviously, it would have been better if it was at West Ham Stadium, but...
Arsenal.
We'll take that.
Arsenal. We'll have we can't have Arsenal, can we? Because we're in Europe and they're not. Sorry, we're both in Europe.
Arsenal versus Bolton.
Harvey, our social media guru, is a Boltonian, so he's going to be buzzing about that one.
He loves Bolton. That's a great game. He's immediately lost his head and ran off.
Yeah.
Manchester United are at home, and we will face
Napoli.
No, it can't be Napoli, Jay. We've already said that. Number 3, Barnsley.
Barnsley.
I went to watch United versus Barnsley away about 15 years ago.
Good laugh.
And everyone at half-time smashed everything up. I mean, we shouldn't really laugh. It was one of them where, do you know, when people were like hiding in the cupboards under the bar and stuff? It was bad. It was really bad.
This is why I don't do aways anymore.
It was fantastic.
People like say to me, like, obviously I don't drink in that, and I still go to all the home games.
Yeah.
Or most of them anyway. But I don't do aways and stuff like that because there's a limit when you're not when you're not levered, where you're like, come on, man.
Yeah. I think I was about 17, so I sort of got it, but I wasn't like in it. It's just
a
me and my
lot
dad were at the game, like
rowdiness that I.
Yeah, Michael Owen scored. We won.
Nice.
So Man United will face Barnsley. Thoughts, Jay? Carabao Cup.
I like that. I mean, my phone was vibrating, and I'm guessing that was already Manchester United telling me they've taken out the payment for the Carabao Cup game.
It happens like that.
Yeah,
that was
so,
when Jeffrey Boycott texted. Is it him who's from Barnsley? I think it is, isn't it?
It might be, yeah. I think it is. He's the one at the MUTV Awards who was like, the Man United Awards just started slagging all this with a Solskjaer off, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, I forgot
live on the telly.
Yeah, he did that.
No, I'm glad because the reason I like that, we always draw at home as well, don't we?
Yeah.
That seems like a game where you can give some of the youngsters a chance.
Yeah.
Harry Amas, Shea Lacey, whoever, Toby Collier, get them in.
Yeah.
They should be able to play.
Coventry will be at home against Tottenham as well. So far, have we got a list of what's been going on? Liverpool versus West Ham, but that will be at Anfield. I think
City Watford was it?
City Watford. You got United versus Barnsley, and there you got Coventry versus Tottenham. Next out is Walsall away. That's going to be an absolute belter. Do you like Walsall's badge? Is that the one with like a bird with red and black on it? Walsall, Leicester.
Right.
To me, that could be a League One fixture, that. And it's mad that Leicester are in the Premier League and have been for most of the last decade.
Yeah.
But when I see Walsall versus Leicester, I just think that's either a rugby game or a League One tie. Next out, the number 28 is Brentford. I love this. How many more of these is there?
I don't know.
Brentford at home versus
Leyton Orient. There's a mouth-watering clash if ever I've seen one. Brentford versus Leyton Orient. I used to work in a pub in Romford where a load of Leyton Orient fans and players used to come in.
Blackpool at home. Did you ever go on holiday to Blackpool as a kid, Jay?
Do you know, I used to love going to Blackpool as a kid. Did you? The illuminations and all that. And then when I was a reporter in Blackpool, it was grim.
Blackpool will play Sheffield Wednesday.
Oh.
Not a bad draw for Wednesday, that.
There you go. That's a very historic fixture.
Yeah, it is.
Like Blackpool versus Sheffield.
One of them
Wednesday.
1905 fixtures.
Yeah, it's like, do you know what I mean?
Speaking of historic, Preston
North End again, mild stomping ground.
will play at home against one of the big boys,
Fulham. Oh.
Battle of the White Kits.
That is historic, that, innit? Preston versus Fulham. They don't get much bigger than that. Eh? Tom Finney versus Johnny Haynes. Everton at home.
So who are we missing? Arsenal?
No, Arsenal against Bolton.
Oh,
We've had
course,
Arsenal.
yeah.
Don't you worry about that. Everton, Southampton.
It's not bad, that.
Ooh,
It's not bad.
yes.
I mean,
that feels like a 1970s
feels
Cup final.
It does.
Everton versus Southampton, and also, don't worry, QPR.
Forgot about them.
Yeah.
I hate QPR.
Really? Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot.
After they let Man City win the
and
league.
then celebrated Aguero's goal, the absolute dickheads.
QPR will face Crystal Palace. There's so many teams that I don't care about.
They don't have far to travel, eh? Sorry.
Anyway, United facing Barnsley. That's really all that matters here, isn't it? Should we go through all of them? Is that what we're doing? Do we need to do this?
Stoke.
God's sake.
Hey, love a bit of the old Stoke. We'll play
your favourite
Fleetwood.
hospitals?
What?
Huh?
Fleetwood, yes.
I love that.
Great times in Fleetwood.
Who are we waiting for here?
Fleetwood Town. Brighton.
Oh, that's
Brighton are at home to Wolves.
So many teams in there. Can we?
Wait, we're nearly done.
We need to stop this.
No, we don't.
Actually, we are nearly done, to be fair.
We're in this together.
We still haven't seen Chelsea, have we?
26.
AFC
Wimbledon.
Oh, yes. This could be
That's
Chelsea.
Is that the original Wimbledon? I forget.
Yeah, it's probably sort of not really, but yeah.
And they'll play Newcastle. Hey,
Up the
Newcastle. So, exciting times.
You'll take that, Ethan. You'll take that.
Yeah, is that it? Is there more?
Yeah, there's one more.
One more.
Have Chelsea haven't been drawn out yet, have they?
Chelsea
at home.
at home.
2, and can we work this out? Wycombe Wanderers.
Barrow.
Oh.
Tricky one.
Tricky
Nice
fixture.
draw for Barrow, that. That'll keep them afloat.
Isn't it mad that Chelsea could change their entire squad and there would still be players who haven't played for them this season? That's mental, isn't it?
Isn't it mad that any of Chelsea's 47 players cost more than the entire town of Barrow?
That's true. Not even the team, the town.
Yeah.
Brilliant. There you go. So Man United will face Barnsley in the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup at Old Trafford. That'll be a nice one, eh? Look at that. So, if that doesn't say it all, what does?
Anyway,
Wrap it up, Jay.
thank you for everyone who got involved in that. Thank you, amazingly, everyone who stuck with us with that Carabao Cup draw.
They wanted to know who we
After
got.
United
Liverpool, West Ham,
drawn.
City, Watford,
I was
Arsenal,
expecting
Bolton,
the views to go down
United,
the toilet.
Barnsley, Wycombe Villa, Coventry, Tottenham, Walsall, Leicester, Brentford, Leyton Orient. There you go. There's your fixtures for the Carabao Cup 3rd round.
Yes, love it, absolutely love it. All I can say is come on United and also come on Watford as well.
Yes.
And West Ham. Right, we're going to leave it there. Make sure you are hitting like, share and subscribe.
Blackpool, Sheffield Wednesday, Preston, Fulham, Everton versus Southampton, QPR versus Crystal Palace, Stoke versus Fleetwood, Brighton versus Wolves, Wimbledon versus Newcastle, and Chelsea versus Barrow.
Love that. Some real good traditional
Some gritty fixtures
British fixtures there. That's what you want to see.
Yeah.
That's
Stoke
what it's all
versus
about.
Fleetwood on a Tuesday night. That's footy, that.
Pure Barclays.
Yeah.
You're going to be outside Old Trafford in the morning, aren't you?
Big time.
With your microphone.
Absolutely.
Spreading the news.
Yeah.
So make sure you are hitting like, share and subscribe. We'll be all back tomorrow as well for Off the Bar, so you don't want to miss out on that. A big thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this
Thank you very much.
stream.
Click the link.
Click the link. That's been Joe Smith. I've been Jay Moy. This has been Transfers Live. Thanks for watching.